Can you tell me something about your lighthouse? What was the inspiration behind lighthouse and what is lighthouse all about?
Lighthouse. Firstly, the name lighthouse itself speaks what it is. It's a place where, which is dedicated for each person to become a light unto himself. Like how the Buddha had said that be your own light. So that is the purpose of lighthouse. Uh, it is basically to teach a kind of meditation which I teach, which you do nothing, absolutely nothing. There is total wrongdoing, and then it is there is a bouquet of different services. Uh, for example, good morning. For example, we are having some specialists who take care of good deep body massages, body opening, steam, anema, and etc. etc. Mud packs, another thing. That's one section, which is the treatment section. The other section is physical yoga for opening up the body. And then there are classes by you, Alankrita, the one who is asking me questions. Alankrita ji has taught meditation for about 20 years. So she's going to teach some different techniques. And then finally, my class, which is going to be like, it goes from like 1.5 hours to 3 hours, it depends. So that's the service which we give. Then, as far as staying is concerned, we have like 12 people can stay. A group of 12 people can stay. 10 can stay or 12 can stay. And the whole building is dedicated only to yoga, meditation, and other things like healthcare.
Okay, one thing I want to ask you, I've been, as you said, that this place is meant for meditation, and the whole world is talking about meditation. The West is just going gaga over this word. Can you just explain what exactly is meditation? Because people don't understand it.
Meditation. Meditation is a
Yeah, it's like these days a very rather even an abused word. People are using it everywhere.
actually the word meditation in English, it means to think carefully. You know, meditate means to meditate on something is to think carefully about that thing, right? And meditate also is connected to the meaning to measure, right? That is the Oxford Dictionary is the meaning given in the dictionary. Meditation, normally what people think is close your eyes and sit quietly for some time and pay attention. And that is also maybe a beginner's form of meditation. But to me, meditation means that the thinking process, okay, has come to a standstill. It has stopped. That means you are not thinking anything about the past, anything about the future, or anything about now. And when your thinking process folds up, when your mind has become totally silent, your conscious mind is quiet, okay, at that very moment, the cosmic light or energy enters your being and starts doing an operation within your body and mind. And that's a very complex process that takes place, but the energy basically heals you, and all the wrong connections that the brain has in the body, it severes that. It's a very long process that happens over a period of many years. So that operation of that energy in the silent mind, that, and when it operates, it releases tension, it releases anger, it releases fear. That release is meditation. When that release is taking place inside, psychological release, you feel light. That is meditation.
So that means anybody can just get into it. It doesn't. It does not require any preparation.
No, not necessary. Only that person must be fit, and he must be very eager to do this. If he has resistance, then obviously he will not let go, and it will not happen. But if he's really ready to like put himself, surrender, then it will happen. And I have done it with small babies. I did it with a 5-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy, say 5-6-year-old boy. There was a worker here. You have seen. There was this one very naughty boy and his sister, and we were playing and we were sitting on the ground, and I put them on this meditation and opened their mouth and all. After when I was trying to ask them to get up, they were saying, no, we want to do more, we want to do more. Okay. And then when he got up and he sat, he looked around and you know what he told me? He said, uncle, aapko pata hai? So I said, what? And I could see his face was so bright and beautiful. He says, mere andar na fear khatam ho gaya. So I said, wow. And that is what real meditation does. It strikes your fear first and ends your fear. So meditation begins. The beginning of meditation is the ending of fear. Psychological fear.
So is it the same as awareness?
Obviously. Then you will know what awareness is. You see, once energy is operating in you, then you will know what awareness is. Not before.
See, one thing I am very interested in knowing from you is like, since you have also done this lighthouse, and the main idea is also to make people healthy, healing is an intrinsic part of it. So can you just define what is health? What do you mean by, does it mean having a good physique or a good body, or what exactly do you mean by health?
See, all these words, if you look up in the dictionary and you see their meaning, you will get a proper understanding. Health comes from the word whole. Whole means one, whole, not divided, but something which is whole. So a man who is whole, okay, is a man who is healthy. And who is whole? A person whose psyche, whose mind, whose psyche is not divided between you, me, I and mine, they and theirs. This division which we have, we belong to certain groups. We call ourselves, I'm Indian, I'm Hindu, all this. So somebody who sees the whole universe as a total one thing, not divided, not my house, your house, my place, your place. This division is only created by thinking. Actually, in space, like you are standing there, you are taking my interview, I am talking to you, right? We are not divided. Without you, my questions are not there. Without the questioner, the answer is not there. So we are all interrelated and all interdependent. So anybody, most scientists, most people know this fact that we are all interdependent. But when you come to actual brass tacks and you ask them, then he'll say, I am a Christian, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim. So this division which we have made, we have divided life into Hindu, Christian. This is absolutely wrong. And where there is a division, there will be a conflict. You see? So therefore, all of us are living a life of conflict inside and conflict outside. So therefore, the meaning of the word whole means a mind which is freed from conflict. It is not in conflict with anybody, neither with itself nor with others. Such a mind is whole, and then after it becomes whole, the old wounds, it takes time to heal. It's not instantly everything gets healed, but the process starts.
Very interesting.
And it starts with that meditative state which is awareness. You can also become aware yourself if you understand attention, and if you really pay total attention once in your life. When you pay total attention, what will happen is your mind will stop. And after it stops and goes into silence, it can start again. Okay? But now, the energy will operate your mind. So therefore, there will be no center to operate, no me or mine which is operating, but the cosmic energy which is operating the mind. So what will happen, just like how you eat your food and your food gets digested automatically, even your thinking, like my thinking, it's automatic. I don't think, it's just coming out.
It is spontaneous.
Spontaneous, if you want to use the word, it's okay, but it's just coming out. Yeah, it's just happening.
Yeah.
Spontaneous is also a very...
I have often heard from you that you explain meditation with the help of mathematics. You always talk about a point. For the last, 13, 14 years, I have heard a lot about the point. Can you just elaborate? We always say that, let's come to the point. Let's discuss the point. So what exactly is this point, and, how is it, what is the correlation between mathematics and meditation, if you can explain it?
See, the human mind, when I am talking or you are listening, what we are using a language. Right? Now, language is based on alphabets. Okay? Alphabets are basically drawn and written like A is written. There is one line like this, one line like this, and one A. Right? So it comes from making lines. Okay? Making some figures. Right? And the line starts from the point. So, all knowledge, if you take all knowledge, I'm talking about science, history, everything, whatever, Vedas, everything, okay, and reduce them from where you start that knowledge, it is a point. The point is the starting point. If you don't have a point, you can't make a line. You can't make a line, you can't write a language, you can't write numbers, you can't write anything. Right? So if you see the book of geometry, which is, I studied in the 5th standard, Euclid's geometry. So when you open the book, the first chapter is, what is a point? Okay. So it says, what is a point? And it defines, the definition is, a point is that in which there is neither length, nor width, nor breadth. बिंदु वो है जिसकी ना लंबाई है, ना चौड़ाई है, ना गहराई है. ठीक है? So what my teacher did was, she picked up a chalk and there was this blackboard and she tucked like this and made a point. So I put my hand up, I said, ma'am, I have a question. So she said, what? I said, the book is saying that it has, point is that which has no length, no width, no breadth. And you have made a point, I can see it. So if I can see it, it has some dimension, it has some length, width and breadth. So you are not making the point. So you please tell me, either you are telling a lie or the book is telling a lie. So she got shocked. She had not thought of it. Then she confessed, she says, son, I am teaching you what people have taught me, I am teaching you. Don't ask me this question, I don't know. So I said, then why you are teaching this? It says point has no dimension and you are making the point. So anyway, what I am trying to say is, if the point has neither length, width or breadth, it cannot be in space or time. You see, anything to be in space and time must have some dimension. Okay? So, this understanding of this point, to me, this point is what you are, what I am, what each of us is. It is a point of light. Okay? It has no dimension. Okay? And Once your mind stops, and as they say, no, a still mind. When the mind has become quiet and still, you are in you are that point. And those who do not realize this point, okay, are always trying to make a point in their life throughout their life. See, whenever I'm talking, whenever you're asking me questions, you know what we are doing? We are trying to make a point. Sir, I don't understand what you're saying. What is the point you are making? We ask this question. You see? So we are always trying to make a point. But can you make a point? You know? We can point towards something. We can't make a point because that point you are, I am. You know? Which means you and me are nothing because we have no dimension. Point has neither length nor width nor breadth. Okay, it has no dimension. And if you see the symbol of Om, okay, on top there is a moon, and on top of it there is a point. Okay, so therefore our ancient people, they knew about this point. Okay, and anybody who realizes the truth knows this point. And when you sit in meditation, you see that point. It's sometimes golden in color, sometimes blue in color. Okay, you have also seen that point. So the whole point is to realize the point.
Yeah.
And if you don't realize the point, after the point, whatever you are doing, like making a line, making languages, it is all imagination. All. Even mathematics, science, everything is based on imagination. For example, the number 1. Okay. Now there is 0 and there is 1. Okay. Now I want to ask the mathematician, what is there between 0 and 1? How did you come to 1? You know, we are just saying this is 1. You know, I am saying this is not 1. With this, my hand is there. With this hand, my body is there. With this body, this chair is there. With this chair, this space is there. With this space, this universe is there. Everything is 1. How come this is 1, yeah? You know? So therefore, even mathematics is little dicey. All knowledge basically is false. Okay? Why it is false? Because it is imaginary. And what is meditation? Meditation is the end of knowledge. Vedanta. Vedanta means, Veda means knowledge, Anta means end. Vedant, end of knowledge. What knowledge? Not technical knowledge. Technical knowledge we need, so that doesn't end. Okay, I need a language to speak to you, I need mathematics. But me and mine. For example, when I used to be an actor, I used to also always think, you know, about my profession, my life, this, that, self-centered thinking. Now, for the last 20, 25 years, I just don't even remember I was an actor. You know, not that I can't act, I can. But there is no self-centered thinking, there is no center in this body. The center has gone beyond space and time. Actually, my center is beyond space and time. It is the source of the universe. That source of the universe is your source, my source, the source of an ant, the source of a plant, the source of everything. That from that point, the whole universe hangs like a bubble. Okay?
Very
I think
interesting.
that's enough.
Now, you know, you were just talking about acting. So, acting or art, you have been an artist for a very, very long time, and people have known you as an artist, as a good artist. Can you just explain what exactly is art and how can one become a good artist, or what is the definition of a good artist?
Definition of
Or, yeah, I mean, of art, rather of art, you know.
what you will do if I define art X, Y, what will happen to you? What is it? Why do you need a definition of artist?
No, but what do you mean by art? I mean, art is all that we do in the
Art,
name of
not
dance.
I didn't make the word art. Okay. Again, you must see the dictionary. Art means order. O-R-D-E-R, order. Everything is in perfect order. It's art. For example, show this tree, this plant here. Okay, this is art. Okay, because everything is in harmony, in order. Okay, this is also art. This is also art. Right? So, nature, whatever is there in nature It is all so beautiful. Just go to any part of nature, where man has not spoiled nature, cut trees, okay, you will only see beauty everywhere. I remember when I was shooting Adi Shankaracharya, okay, so there was one scene, we were, I'm talking about 1980, 80 or 80, okay. We had come to Rishikesh, and from Rishikesh, we went little up, and on the Ganges, we saw one patch of sand, okay, by the side of the river Ganga. There was this sand. It was so beautiful, you know. We just, when we saw that, no, we were like, okay. And what was that? It was almost white and a grey patch of this thing, sand. And the air had made waves on the sand. Okay. And it was almost about more than half a kilometer. And everything, all the waves were absolutely, all the lines were intact. Like, I think even a bird had not walked on it. It was like virgin. So we was like, wow. So G.V. Iyer made a very good shot. He said, okay, you walk from here, you know. I was like, just in a Kopina, I was playing Shankaracharya. Just walk like this and go to the river. And what the shot he took is me walking on that river with that orange lion cloth. And then he just took the footprints on the sand, you know. And because it was so virgin and so unique, those footprints look so amazing. And then finally I reached the river. And it's one of the amazing shots in that film. Okay. So you've got to have an eye to see art. Art is everywhere. Okay. In my house, somebody has got stones from the Ganges. Each piece of stone is an art. Okay. And the beauty is that the artist, we say God is the artist. I say the artist and the art are one. The painter and the painting is one. Like in the stone, the maker of the stone and the beauty of the stone is one. Okay. So in other words, the painter is painting in nature. He's painting whatever he's painting, a rock or making a beautiful flower or the sand beaches or whatever. He's making it there. The energy is making it from within. It's a meditation. So this meditation, I talk about this awareness. This whole nature is in meditation. You know, everything is in meditation. Meditation means to touch the source of life. Okay, and everything has life. Even stone has life. You see this sunlight which is falling in me. This sunlight is the major source of life in this earth. You know, we never thank the sun or pray to the sun, but we owe our life to the sun. So
But
art is
your art has taken you towards divinity. There are many people who don't realize it, you know. I mean, in spite of being artists, they get into all kinds of habits, and over a period of time, when they lose that sheen and when they are not into the glamour world anymore, you know, when they are not famous anymore, they tend to become frustrated and they don't know what to do with their lives. So sometimes we see that art has two dimensions. Like one, as you said, it takes one to the divine, and one, it makes a person very crass also. You know, so your art has taken you towards divinity. Can you share a little more about it? I mean, this journey from an artist to what you are today.
see any work that we do, any work. Okay. First, what is important is why you are doing that work. That is the first question. Why you are doing that work? For example, if you are doing, you can do some work, sometimes you can do some work which just helps you to make money. Okay? Of course, all work involves some kind of earning, some kind of money. All work it does involve. But the point is, what happens with most of the people is their focus is on money. For example, uh, take anything like, somebody is making any craft or any art or anything. So suppose I make this tray. Okay, I have painted this tray. Okay, now I painted it sitting in my house and putting my heart and mind. I painted it and I enjoyed painting it. Okay, then I have put it for sale and I say, sir, this is 100 rupees. Okay, because the material cost me 50 rupees and I took 2-3 days to paint this, so I'm putting 50 rupees, my cost 100 rupees, I'm selling this. Now this I call a work of love. But if I don't have anything to do with this, I don't have anything to do with it, I can call one artist, I call one this thing and print 500 like this and sell it in the market. That is commerce. Okay. So you must be very clear. You can do commercial work also, there is no problem. Okay, but your intention should be very clear. 1. 2. Now, suppose I become an artist. Okay, artist means living a life in art. Now, especially like for an actor, if you take the case of an actor, the instrument of an actor, a painter has a brush and a board and colors and all that. For an actor, everything he has is this body, his brain and his 5 senses. This is his instrument, right? Now, I want to become I am like training to become an actor. Okay. So if I see 10 people, the answer is a little long in this, right? If I become an artist and if I see 10 people acting this, that, and take a little of this man or take a little of this man, which most actors do, they take a little from Rajesh Khanna, take a little from Devanand, take from Dilip Kumar, this, that, and make one concoction and make it their style. Okay. Now, the first thing about an artist is, if I want to become an artist, I would never do this. Never means never copy. First thing, okay? First thing about art, don't copy what others have done. See it, study it, and put it aside. Okay? Now, most people, what they do is, they don't have the patience to grow their own thing. Okay, so they just copy that and they try to paste it. If you do that, are you an artist? No, you are like a mime artist who has captured many styles and put it together. Maybe you might become a Shatrughan Sinha. Maybe you might become, but they were not artists. I don't think they were artists. And it's very difficult to be a real artist. You have to really burn your candles from both ends. Not one end, both. 1. 2, you have to be firstly a honest human being, right? Because what is needed in art, is that how true is your art? The sense of truth in art is what makes art great, right? For example, when you see a Mona Lisa, you sometimes, like, if you see that, you sometimes think, is this a painting or is it that woman itself, right? Or, like people when they say Krishna, they don't know if this man is acting or it's Krishna himself. Okay? So, the sense of truth, not only in your art, but in your real life. Now, the one major thing which I am going to say, it's which most artists never think of it or never understand this thing, is you can never be a greater artist than the human being you are. आप जिस किस्म के इंसान हो, आप उससे अच्छे कलाकार नहीं बन सकते। तो आप यदि सुबह से लेकर शाम तक झूठ बोलते हो, सुबह से लेकर शाम तक आप गंदी गंदी बातें करते हो, सुबह से लेकर शाम तक आप सबको क्रिटिसाइज करते हो, सबसे लड़ते हो, और आप बोलो कि मैं दिलीप कुमार बन जाऊँ, तो आप नहीं बन पाओगे। इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, यू सी। So therefore, in art, even in science, it applies in everything, even in business. If you want to be a great businessman, you have to be a great man. Mr. J.R.D. Tata was a great man. Okay? And all these people who have done great things in their life, they have, they were, if not wholly great, at least partially in their work, they were great. Right? So, and this word great used to fascinate me from my childhood. There were two words which fascinated me. One, intelligence. I was always thinking, who's a really intelligent man? Who's a really intelligent man? And everybody thought my father was intelligent, but I cut him to pieces, and he was as intelligent as the last book which he had read, So, he was not intelligent. And I didn't meet an intelligent man in my life, frankly. I met some people who were quite intelligent, but not really intelligent. Intelligent means you are clear about everything in life, and not only clear speaking, but actually you are living it. That is the intelligent. People call that enlightenment, but you don't have to call that enlightenment. Be intelligent. Intelligent means use your entire brain for everything. Think for yourself. That is intelligence. The heart of intelligence is to think for yourself. What Mr. X said, or what Mr. Y said, or what the Bhagavad Gita said, and what Krishna says, all of them go to hell. Okay? I am thinking, and I am going to find out what is the real thing. That is intelligence. That needs a lot of hard work. Right? Coming back to art, you cannot be a greater artist than the human being you are. Some cases you might find, he used to drink, or he used to do that. By the way, drinking and sex doesn't make a man bad. Sex is a natural activity, and drinking is just energy. शराब के ऊपर मैंने 4 लाइन लिखी है, आपको सुनाता हूँ, यदि आप सुनना चाहें। शराब तो शराब है, शराब तो शराब है, न अच्छी है न खराब है। खराब ने शराब को पीकर शराब को खराब बना दिया। आपके समझ में आई बात? खराब जो इंसान खराब, आपके समझ में आई? अलग दिखता है क्या समझ में आई?
हाँ, जो
इंसान खराब है, शराब खराब नहीं है। गालिब एक जगह में देख रहा था, गालिब की वो सीरियल, तो उसकी वाइफ को उसने बोला वो कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो गया था, उसने बोला भाई थोड़ी शराब पिला दे। तो वाइफ बोली अरे फिर आप शराब। तो गालिब ने अपनी वाइफ को देख के बोला अरे आगे मुझे जाना, ये तो बता दे कि शराब में खराबी क्या है। शराब तो एनर्जी है, खराब कहाँ है? दारू और दवा एक ही चीज़ है। यदि आप उसको तरीके से पियो, आप यदि जंगली हो और आप उसको पूरी 10-20 लीटर पी जाओ, आप 50 रोटी खा जाओ, आप 100 रसगुल्ले खा जाओ, तो आप मर जाओ। तो रसगुल्ला नहीं खराब है, ना रोटी खराब है, और ना शराब खराब है। शराब फल के जूस का एक वाइन है, उसको आप तरीके से पियो तो आपको अच्छी नींद भी आएगी, आपका हार्ट भी ठीक रहेगा, आप बड़े रिलैक्स रहोगे। बड़ी अच्छी चीज़ है, लेकिन वो इंसान को पीने वाले की हो। अब वो पीने के बाद उसको वो लड़ाई करना चाहे, झगड़ा करना चाहे, तो वो उसमें शराब की क्या करती है? तो आप यदि ऐसा सोच रहे हो कि कोई आर्टिस्ट दारू पीता है या ये करता है या वो खाता है या सेक्स करता है, नो। फर्स्टली रिमेंबर वन थिंग, बी इंटेलिजेंट। देयर इज नथिंग बैड इन दिस वर्ल्ड, नथिंग, इंक्लूडिंग मर्डर। व्हाई? कृष्ण जो है वो महाभारत में लोगों को क्या, अर्जुन को क्या बोल रहा है, मारो इनको, तो मर्डर ही तो करवा रहा है। तो जहाँ पर मारना है वहाँ मारना भी पड़ेगा, जहाँ पे काटना है वहाँ काटना भी। एक सर्जन है, उसको पेट काटना पड़ता है, अब पैर काटना पड़ता है, एक बॉडी को बचाने के लिए कभी कभी एक पैर भी काटना पड़ता है। तो दुनिया में कोई चीज़ खराब और अच्छी नहीं है। जब तक आप ये सोच रहे हो ना व्हाट इज़ गुड एंड व्हाट इज़ बैड, आप इंटेलिजेंट ही नहीं हो। जो नॉन इंटेलिजेंट इंसान होगा वो सवाल पूछेगा, सर व्हाट इज गुड, व्हाट इज बैड? सी, देयर इज नथिंग गुड एंड नथिंग बैड, इट इज हाउ यू यूज दैट थिंग, एंड दैट इट इज डिपेंड्स ऑन द इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ द मैन। यदि मुझे आप वो दे दो, जहर दे दो, हाँ, तो मैं जहर का गलत यूज़ करना है तो किसी को खिलाकर वो आदमी को मार सकता हूँ, और मैं उसकी वैक्सीन भी बना सकता हूँ। ठीक है ना, जहर बहुत काम, जहर से हजारों वैक्सीन बनते हैं। ठीक है, तो जब जहर भी ख़राब नहीं है तो अमृत से लेकर जहर तक कोई चीज़ ख़राब नहीं है, सब अपनी अपनी अलग अलग क्वालिटी रखती हैं और उनको आपको यूज़ करना जानना चाहिए, है ना। तो इंटेलिजेंस, वो इंटेलिजेंस आपका जो है वो दिखाता है कि किस चीज़ को कितना यूज़ करना है, कितना नहीं यूज़ करना है। और आपने क्या पूछा था आर्टिस्ट के बारे में? So coming back to art, art is or any other, any job, even if you are a teacher, it's a 24/7 job. और हम लोग क्या करते हैं नॉर्मल आदमी, प्राइवेट लाइफ और प्रोफेशनल लाइफ अलग अलग करते हैं, बांट देते हैं। वी हैव डिवाइडेड, देयर इज अ डिविजन। यदि तुम कोई एक्टर से पूछो, मिस्टर आमिर खान से पूछो या मार्लोन ब्रांडो से पूछो, तो दिल से, ओ यू आस्किंग मी प्राइवेट क्वेश्चन। I am telling you, I have no private life. I have only life. There is no private life. Okay? That private life is a division. That division means conflict. Okay? So that means you are, there is one form of life which you are hiding from others. And why don't you live a life which is whole? You know? Maybe you might not be wanting to answer some questions about your wife or your children. That's a different thing. But why divide, make this private life, make this professional life and this kind of division? This division creates a conflict, number one. Now if there is a conflict, okay, you will waste energy, and this conflict will make your art B class, second class, right? But if you have no conflict, that means whatever you are doing from morning to night, okay, it is all connected to the work that you are going to do. So in other words, your life, your living matlab, it, the food you eat, the exercise you do, the way you treat people, the way you, your relationships with people, everything. That and the work you do, your acting, right, or your painting, it's all interrelated and flowing into each other. Okay, then whatever your life is, you can reflect it on in the canvas as an artist. Okay, and then people will see and they will say, wow, is this guy acting, is this guy painting, or is this real life? You see, so therefore art, meditation, divinity, wholeness, it's all one. In other words, all arts flow from the divine.
Thank you. So that's for today,
enough.
and then we'll, have the next session very soon. Thanks. Thank you so much.